Hi friends, hope you're having a great day. I have just a short devotional for us today, but I want to preface it with the question, how do you deal with interruptions? How do you deal with your plans being changed? I mean, I know we've all had this drastic change of plans and major interruptions, but how do you even deal with the interruptions of the day that can come at you, whether you're working and things go sideways, or people want your attention elsewhere. Maybe you're at home and your kids are vying for your attention, trying to distract you from some task that you want to get done. Maybe it's even when your spouse comes home from work and they want to have a conversation with you and you're in the middle of something. There's so many different things can come at us that distract us or can be interruptions. And so I want to read us a little bit from Matthew chapter 9 today. In verse 18 it says, "As he was telling them these things, suddenly one of the leaders came and knelt down before him, saying, 'My daughter just died, but come and lay your hand on her, and she will live.' So Jesus and his disciples got up and followed him. Just then, a woman who had suffered from bleeding for 12 years approached from behind and touched the end of his robe. For she said to herself, 'If I can just touch his robe, I'll be made well.' Jesus turned and saw her. 'Have courage, daughter,' he said. 'Your faith has saved you.' And the woman was made well from that moment. When Jesus came to the leader's house, he saw the flute players and the crowd lamenting loudly. 'Leave,' he said, 'because the girl is not dead but asleep.' And they laughed at him. After the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took her by the hand, and the girl got up. Then the news of this spread throughout the whole area." Now there's a myriad of things that we can pull out of that passage. It's a beautiful story. But I want to go back to the beginning where it says, he was telling them these things and suddenly one of the leaders interrupted him. One of the leaders came and interrupted his day, interrupted this speech or message that he was giving, and changed what was happening. And then even a few verses down where the woman came and touched him, he knew that she had touched him, and it was still an interruption. He was going to heal somebody, and she came and kind of made him pause and took his attention for a minute. And I mean, there's a million stories in the Gospels. If you have had the chance to read through them, or even just recall some of the stories that you know of how Jesus dealt with interruptions, because his life was full of interruptions, whether it's people wanting to be healed, or Pharisees coming at him with questions, or even just the opportunities that he saw for interruptions. And he took those so willingly, so graciously. And one thing that I take from looking at the life of Jesus, and I hope you will see this too if you read the parables and the stories of how he healed people and how he dealt with interruptions, is that he responded with grace and love. Even with the Pharisees, when they had their questions, he did not yell always. Sometimes he got a little bit more irritated with them, but he still had grace and compassion for them, and he still responded kindly but firmly, sometimes when he was dealing with the religious leaders, but also when he was dealing with young children coming to him and the disciples trying to keep them away, or with all the other scenarios where people were wanting healing, or sometimes they'd have men lowering other guys through the roof to get to Jesus, and so many things that were interruptions to him. But I think for us, it's a call and a reminder today to look to Jesus and how he responded when his life had interruptions constantly, and maybe for us not to turn from the interruptions that come at us, but also to see where can we join in what God is calling us to do even in those interruptions. Maybe he's wanting to stop us. Maybe he's wanting us to take note of something that we wouldn't normally take note of. So maybe hopefully that's applicable for you today. Maybe there's something in there that is just a nugget of truth that you can take with you in the next couple days and see just how do you deal with interruptions, and maybe even what does God have for you in those interruptions that come through. Have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.